All right. So I'm back. These videos are really meant to be thought provoking. Really, they're just they're thought provoking. So if you're a dad in recovery, that this is short. You're going to go right to the point. Going to do a bunch of these, but there's stuff for you to think about. All right, and some of it's not easy stuff, but it's stuff for you to think about and stuff for you to work on. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about your relationship with your father. So, the examples, I mean, I've talked to dozens, hundreds actually now, of dads with the idea of looking at this whole thing and about, how to help dads really show up. I mean, every dad wants to be there, right? Every dad wants to be there. And I haven't talked to one dad who says, I didn't care about my kids. Not one. I haven't talked to one dad. I've talked to lots of terrified dads, afraid of fucking it up, afraid of, you know, not knowing how to get back. I've talked to a lot of situations, but nobody that said they didn't care. Nobody. So this is about your dad right now. So you're sober now, you're in recovery, and you're rebuilding the relationship, or you're doing the best you can to be an amazing father. But how is the relationship with your dad? And that's how we're modeling. We're modeling for our kids. And every young man and young woman goes through a time when she's angry at her dad. It just happens. They're like, every kid thinks his parents don't know shit and don't understand him, and all of those things. That's part of being a kid. Every young man, wants to take dad on eventually. But we're growing up now, and we're past that. We're looking now at our own fathers, and we're saying, okay, what happened here? And you know, sometimes our own fathers weren't well. They just weren't well, and we can go back generations and see how, generationally things weren't well. And their dads weren't there, and maybe their moms were really mad at their dads. And I mean, it's just there's a lot of pain, and somewhere it has to stop. So I'm talking to you right now. You're listening. You're a dad, and you're in recovery. And where does it stop? Does it stop with you, or does it stop with the next generation? Let's make it stop here. Okay. We're going to look back at our dad, and we're going to say, okay, who was he? If he's passed, if he's dead, you know, uh, look at his situation, and ask about him. Ask about him from people that maybe weren't mad at him. To see his situation. If he was an alcoholic and an addict himself. And boy, I've talked to a lot of men whose dads died, of alcoholism and addiction, and now they're in recovery, and they're trying to heal that in the family. Well, the healing needs to happen between you and him. Okay, he may be gone, or he may still be out there and not interested, but the buck stops here. So love is the answer. We're going to look back, and we're going to look at our dads, and we're going to see who they really were, and what was missing, in them, and why maybe they didn't show up, or they showed up with anger, or they, and to see their pain, and find love in our heart towards them. And that's an example for our own kids, right? This is what we want to be, is this example for our own kids. And then we can begin to speak about our Father. And we can speak about him in loving tones. We can say, if this is the truth, if our dad was not well, we can talk about that. And because often this thing of addiction is, you know, there's we're embarrassed, or there's pride, or there's stigma, and we don't want to talk about what happened with dad. you know, and why did he leave mom and all of that stuff, you know. We're afraid to address it, but we need to let our kids know that dad wasn't well, their grandfather, if he wasn't well, what was the deal, and that we understand and that we have compassion. We want our kids to be understanding and compassionate. We have to be understanding and compassionate. We want our kids to be, you know, go through their life loving and understanding of us because we fall short, you know. Then we need to be that way with our own dads, you know. Holding anger or just being apathetic about our fathers is not enough. So that's my deal for today. We love our own dads and come to understand them and their shortcomings and whether they got well or not. You know, they were exactly what we needed. No mistakes were made. That's it. Love you guys, and you know, I'm just doing this thing as my whole thing. My passion is to help men be the dads they want to be. I think that dad's needed in the family, and lots of times there's just like this silent suffering going on because we don't talk about it. And I'm gonna friggin' talk about it. and and I'm open to talk about it. Call me, text me. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about your dad. Talk about your relationship with your kid's mom. We're going to talk about that more too. And you know, yeah. Remember, your daughter is going to marry a guy like you. So, you know, who do you want to be, right? If that's the case, I mean, that's a bit old school, but let's imagine that that's the case. Okay. Love you guys so much. Talk soon.